Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, and you're on Fast Entrepreneur, and I'm on a bike ride. So been a while since I've shot a video, but I wanted to just take this time, kind of share where my thoughts are now, where the market is in crypto, a little bit just, overall, everything in general. So this is gonna kind of be one of those ride-alongs, if you will. And I also want to talk about just a few strategic airdrops, potentially some ways that you can position yourself for some free money, potentially in the days, weeks, etc. coming up. So let's get right into it. All right, so where do we start? Okay, well, let's start with the economy as a whole. We know what's been going on with the virus. We know what's been going on with stimulus packages. The U.S. government right now is kind of in a little standstill as the Democrats are trying to figure out how they're going to work together amongst themselves to actually get one of their plans, if not multiple of their plans through these bills, passed for the Biden administration. Midterms coming up. Okay. With that being said, we're obviously having inflation, but it looks like the rate of inflation is slowing down. Some people, like Kathy Wood, even saying that this may turn into a deflationary period. And let's talk about crypto. Crypto, obviously, it seems like almost every day now it's becoming more and more mainstream. It's getting adopted in different ways. Visa looks like they're going to be launching their Layer 2 on Ethereum. Ethereum obviously has a network effect. We're also dealing with the Evergrande crisis. Will that have a trickle, or will China bail them out? And then in crypto, it's a speculative asset, but there's regulatory concerns. There's how is it going to be regulated? How is it going to be taxed? How is it going to affect miners, hodlers, stakers, etc.? And then there's obviously just the market cycles in general. And it looks like, for sure, we definitely had a run-up starting last year that then cooled off in the crypto markets. We've had been bouncing around, and some people are calling for a final push, one final hurrah to the upside. And when that does happen, or if it does happen, I should say, in the past, it's usually been led by Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin meets its maker, altcoins have tended to have a little major altcoin season. And the gains in the altcoins can be very, very high, and then everything drops. At least that's what it's been. Whether or not that's going to play out this time is another story. But a lot of people believe that we're getting close. They're calling for a strong quarter 4 here in 2021. And so that's that. Depending on what your strategy is, if you're in crypto at all, again, this is not financial advice. You got to do your own research. The technology is growing exponentially, if you will. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of bad projects, a lot of bad people out there. But there's also some promising, good projects out there. So in terms of airdrops, if you don't know what an airdrop is, basically it's free money. And, you might be saying, well, nothing's free. How does that work? When these crypto projects launch, Sometimes the communities reserve some of their tokens to be rewarded to stakeholders, hodler, people that have the token, people that interact with their DApp, their decentralized app, use their protocol in some way, shape, or form. We've had some major airdrops, such as like the Uniswap airdrop last year, which is now probably worth well over $10,000 if you held. You had things like the Ampleforth governance token, the Gitcoin, 1inch, etc., DYDX recently. So moving forward, there's no way to know, but people are speculating, looking at some, what has been done in the past. Why would these projects want to do an airdrop, and why wouldn't they? And again, it's a competitive market, so sometimes it's just about getting a competitive edge before your rivals do. And so some people are saying, well, if you just look at the narratives and you look at, for instance, layer 2s and scaling, you have the Pulse chain coming up, which is going to be one of the largest airdrops. It's going to be a complete fork of Ethereum, exact copies of all ERC20s. The phase to get in that airdrop is done. However, if you look at some of the other layer 2s that are competing for the space, you've got things like Matic, Polygon that are out there. Recently, Arbitrum mainnet is out. Arbitrum doesn't have a coin. You've got things like Optimism, Boba. I think Boba's actually doing an airdrop coming up for people that are holding the OMG token. You can look it up. I believe that's why OMG is pumping pretty hard in anticipation for the snapshot. Optimism, there's a lot of, Optimism is one of the top layer 2 scaling solutions, and there's a lot of thinking that Optimism may have an airdrop. It's all speculation, but if you look at kind of what's been done in the airdrop space, they're just airdrops just to holders, people that have participated in their platform, some way, shape, or form, maybe just interacting or making a trade on Uniswap or some other DEX. Sometimes they do smart airdrops, which kind of, as the name suggests, not everyone gets rewarded in the same amount. It's kind of rewards you based on your merit and how much you've been contributing to that platform. That's kind of what, like Gitcoin and the Gitcoin grants. But getting back to Optimism, you can bridge Ethereum to from the mainnet on Ethereum. You can bridge over to Optimism. They've got gateway.optimism.io, and should you do that, you'll notice you have to pay the Ethereum gas fee to get over there. Once you're there on the Optimism side, then you've successfully used the bridge. A lot of your transactions might cost $1 or $2, not much. You can make swaps on Uniswap on the optimistic Ethereum side, and that might be all you need to do potentially to get eligible. Should Optimism do an airdrop in the future to reward people? Some people can speculate about others. I don't know what Arbitrum, but potentially. If you play around with Optimism, you'll see because of the fees on Ethereum are so high, then you'll have to pay fees. It's about a week. It's about a 7-day wait time to get your funds off of the optimistic Ethereum side back to Ethereum. But why do I say this? I mean, it might not be a bad if you're thinking about just strategy. It might be a small little price to pay to set yourself up for a potentially large gain. But again, there's no there are no guarantees. And I'm coming up on a sprinkler here, so let's see how this goes. Wait, maybe I can get across before the sprinklers turn back this way. There we go. We got Metamask. You know, these are potentially very, very large projects, large fees, could be large airdrops. Metamask, if you don't know what Metamask is, you can YouTube, Google it. It's one of the most widely used decentralized wallets for Web3. And almost all these things that we're talking about, you'll need a wallet such as that. There's others, but yeah, so Metamask, speculation is you have Metamask and use the Metamask swap function that might help you become eligible for a Metamask airdrop should there be one. Then again, all these things on the Ethereum side, as long as the gas fees are high, you may find yourself, 30, 40, 50 bucks just to take a stab at these. So you might want to weigh the risk and the reward, but if you think about it, if one of these does come about, let's say it yields you $1,000 in an airdrop, but you had to, put 50 here, 50 there, 50 here, 50 there, a couple of times to be eligible, would it be worth it? I mean, I guess you got to weigh the pros and the cons. Some of these projects certainly are very large scale, so it could be quite large if something like that does happen. There's a few others. I'm going to talk about Zapperfy, OpenC, right? OpenC, one of the largest NFT marketplaces. Who knows? Maybe there will be an airdrop to OpenC users. Maybe it'll be if you bought an NFT. Some of these other, some require you to do other things. Talk about Cosmos a little bit. So Cosmos, if you hold Cosmos and you decide that you want to stake it through the Cosmos hub, there's various different wallets you can do, ways you can do it. But Cosmos hub, inter-blockchain, right, connecting multiple chains together, and they've already had an airdrop with Osmosis, the Osmo token. And so I guess the thought is more are on the horizon. I mean, we've seen the same thing with Solana, potentially AVAX here. I mean, basically there's lots of opportunities around, and you may not be able to obviously, take advantage of all of them. But that's that. I'm trying to think what else. Let's see. Yeah, so, in terms of the market, a lot of folks, if you look at the cycles that have happened in the last, every crypto market, we see the Bitcoin halving event kind of trigger this bull run. We've had spikes up, spikes down. 2013, you had one peak, then you had a prolonged dip, then you had a second peak. And usually the second peak in these markets turns to be kind of parabolic in nature, which means a lot of the price action, a lot of the price moves very, very quickly. We're talking within a matter of weeks, maybe a few months. And, when you look at the charts, financial gravity, something like that, may not be sustainable forever. And then the bear market has come. And so, if you believe that there is going to be a run up and you do have gains, what are you going to do? How are you going to take profit? There obviously is taxes to pay. And if you've held an asset, less than a year, the higher tax rate for some folks that may have large gains. Some people are talking about CRTs, charitable remainder trusts, where these are basically, vehicles that you can, so you do it before you sell crypto, but you can move your funds. You get this set up probably by an attorney and whatnot, but you can move your funds and don't have to sell. You don't have to realize the taxable gains, and you basically set up something that you can benefit from during your lifetime, and then you can have an asset that is growing, deferring taxes, while also, should you get to that point, it'll go to charity at the end of your life. But those are decisions that you have to make, and it might not apply to everyone. But there's a lot of writing on the wall. It looks like Wall Street is waking up to this. A lot of billionaires, even celebrities, I think they're seeing crypto for what it is. It's still got a long way to go. Still early in the space. But and then even, what do you do? Do you cash out along the way? Do you cash out, put them into stable coins? Do you go back in US dollars, and wait for the next run up? Do you try and earn interest on some of your coins in platforms like Celsius or BlockFi? Well, just recently, actually, Compound, accidentally, I guess, with an upgrade. This is a very respected, I guess, top DeFi play. Accidentally gave $90 million worth of coins, and then asking for people to give them back. I think the space has still got a lot to go, still got a lot to mature. The U.S. government, even though Gary Gensler, chairman of the SEC, the guy has even taught a course on blockchain at MIT, but we still don't have a Bitcoin ETF. Maybe we will soon. That would be a huge gateway to allow lots of folk in a regulatory manner to get into the space. But even Coinbase wanted to do a similar lending platform. It looks like they're going to pull back on that because of the uncertainty of how the regulations will be applied here. So, anyways, it's I'll just pull over for a sec. But that's kind of where we're at. And if you're into the NFT plays, it looks like it's quite a bubble, but and it's costly. A lot of them are on the Ethereum blockchain, but for some people that want to or can, I guess it's a very speculative play. I think the tech is really interesting, but we'll see where that goes. I think gaming is going to be huge. Even if crypto does go into a relative bear market, people in gaming adoption, it could be there. What else? Well, it's an exciting time And so I'm recording this. We are just about to launch, what is this, October? Just about to launch Q4 in 2021. Bitcoin almost touching 50,000, a little bit less at the moment, but we'll see where we are in a few months. We'll see what happens. We'll see what plays out. And until next time, stay safe. Get outside while you still can. Enjoy the nice weather. See you guys later. Peace.